It's been a while since we had a discussion video about how horrible Funko is.
Yeah, so it'll be fun to do it again. What was our theme song from the last video? Doom, gloom, negativity.
I didn't like it the first time either.
Welcome to the Gastlecast, where we're all doom and gloom.
Don't say that we're negative. I mean, Funko just screws everything up.
Well, no,
we're just talking about it.
People blame us, so I'm beating them to the punch.
No, they're not going to blame us this time.
Not too long ago, I think it was like last week, someone called us Gasso Trash. Honestly, I really think we should stick to it.
I'm okay with that.
Welcome to the Gasso Trash.
Well, you can't talk about Funko without talking about all the negative stuff. I mean, I guess you could unbox a bunch of stuff and say, oh, look at all these cool Funko Pops I have. But anybody who's involved in Funko knows what's going on. Yeah. And the most recent news that we heard that we don't know a whole lot about is apparently there have been more layoffs.
Yes.
But we're not sure who it affected.
No, not yet.
Okay, so we're not sure about that, but of course we will report on that once we know more.
If we know more.
We probably will find out more.
At some point.
I mean, it's going to come out. Remember when they got rid of $30 million worth of garbage?
Yeah.
That was all over everything. That was like posted on every headline. So now it seems like nationally or globally, we're talking about Funko News now.
It's crazy.
Hey, they should have come to us. We're first to the punch.
I know.
And a lot of people were talking about how horrible we were. But guess what? You got Gizmodo or whoever the magazine is. Did you see that article? I think we talked about it at one point in time. But they were so negative. They were more negative than us.
Oh, yeah. So I'm in my normal spot, but I got a big pimple.
I know.
And in these videos, we turn and face each other. So now, like, they're extra seeing it.
I know. It's
Can
huge.
we switch?
No. You should have put makeup on there or, like, put a mask on.
I can't.
Why
There's
not?
no hiding this thing. It's huge.
It is. That thing is unbelievable.
I really did a bad thing. I kept picking at it, trying to pull it out. The pimple would not come out. Finally,
if you look on Google Earth at our address, you actually see it.
Yeah. I scratch it so hard and so deep. It finally came out the other day.
Good.
But it's still up.
You just ruined yourself. I think you're going to have a scar.
I ruined my face.
Okay, enough of your pimple.
Why?
We need
I
to talk
about it more. We could literally fill an entire video about this big pimple, how it got here, what its plans are for next week, everything.
I know. But let's talk about where this all started, the negativity where it started. So it started with our video where we talked about the layoffs and the firings and the walking out and everything.
Sorta. Let's backtrack a little bit further and talk about 2020. What happened in 2020? A whole ass pandemic where we were all stuck inside, but then there were some people that were working but still getting those stimulus checks. And guess what people did with those stimulus checks who were also working?
They were stimulating their nerd-loving collecting side.
Yup, and Funko did better than ever when everybody was stuck bored inside. We couldn't go anywhere, but to fulfill our happiness center in our brains, our big dumb brains that make us irresponsible, instead of going out and spending it on movies and amusement parks and all whatever else we normally do, we spent it on we don't need. Funko took that money and they were rolling in it like Huel from Breaking Bad, remember?
I know. Actually, look.
That's Funko right there, and that's their money. They were just...
How are we talking bad about Funko in this video, but we're showing you U2s? U2s. Go and buy yours today. Okay, they made a lot of money. And
they made a lot of money, but listen, when they saw the numbers, they said, we really profited. And now we have a bigger fan base. So let's continue on this trajectory. Let's continue ordering more because we have more Funko fans. In turn, when everybody started working again, things started to drop off a little more. Yes, they may have gained some more fans, but people weren't frivolously spending their money like they were when they got those free $1,400 checks.
Absolutely. And it was driving the price up of a lot of different Funko Pops because for a while there you couldn't get much anyway. You were buying a lot of the secondary sales stuff.
Yes, because everything was shut down. The whole supply chain was And we're still to this day seeing trickling effects from that. Now, granted, it's not anywhere near what it was back then.
Oh yeah, and it's totally screwed Funko up.
Yeah.
And then Funko, again, bought all this stuff, and then it came in too late. Mm-hmm. And then stores didn't want to take it in. Mm-hmm. And now Funko is trying to find ways to get rid of it.
Yeah.
They had a warehouse that didn't work out. Mm-hmm. It wasn't properly set up for all the things they wanted to do with this warehouse.
Yes, so their software system was messed up. I believe that they're working on fixing that though, right?
Yes, so they're in the midst of trying to implement a system for the warehouse to like run it, and then that's apparently temporary, according to the call that we listened to. Once they get to a certain point and they find the proper software they're going to use, then they're going to upgrade to whatever their final software that they're going to use is going to be. So they have to go through multiple steps. So they're using something in time, like right now, they're using something to get them by until they can buy the real final thing. And I'm thinking they're doing this because they have to have something in place, like right now. And the other day I noticed when we ordered something from Funko, it says Buckeye on it. Like, I had never really paid attention to the address before, but now it does say Buckeye, Arizona.
It used to say Everett.
It seems like the warehouse is finally working the way that it's supposed to. I don't know if something will happen between now and when this video is put out, or over the next couple of months, or over the next year. It could go sideways. Who knows? I mean, because it seems like anything that happens with Funko goes sideways. Mm-hmm. And then in the midst of all this, we're talking about the warehouse, so that's one cog or one piece of all this. Then there's another piece where they couldn't sell the product. Mm-hmm. So all that stuff that was belonging in like Target and Walmart and all these other places weren't actually ending up at their final destination, and they're being sold at cheapy stores.
I want to talk about the supply chain problems. Target in particular, we have talked to multiple employees from Target, and it seems to be a well-known or a more known fact that Target has these dates of when things are supposed to come in, and then after a certain amount of time, it goes on sale if they're still in stores, and then after a certain amount of time, it gradually gets lower until they can no longer sell them. They salvage them.
Right.
In turn, they get thrown in the dumpster or possibly sold to other stores. I don't know.
Yeah, don't know how that works.
Prime example, Eddie, and I use this all the time.
From Stranger Things.
From Stranger Things, Target exclusive. We saw a bunch on the shelves right before Stranger Things season 4 came out.
Yeah.
Nobody was buying them because it didn't come out yet. Nobody saw the season. As soon as the season came out, everybody fell in love with Eddie. They ran to Targets. They bought up all the stock of Eddie, and he was nowhere to be seen. Later, we learned that we were supposed to get a restock that October. By the time Eddie actually came into Targets, they were salvageable. Target could no longer sell them. Therefore, we started seeing them at these like discount stores. There was one
on the West Coast somewhere.
That's cheap.
Something
on
like
the West Coast.
Yeah. And then Ollie's.
Yes, Ollie's. There was a wall of like at least 100. Stores are unable to sell these products because of their policies. But I believe because of a lot of the overstock, I don't know if you've noticed or not, but stores have begun to sort of cut back. And my guess is because of overstock and not being able to sell all of the shit sitting on their shelves, but also possibly because during 2020 in particular, you weren't really getting stock. It was really hard for retailers. So they have these big Funko walls. They're not getting stock during the pandemic, but then all of a sudden, all this crazy stock starts flying in.
In the same breath of them screwing up what's going on with big retailers, they're also not helping the little retailers.
Yeah.
So your small Funko shops are getting screwed as well. They're not getting in the items that they need to fulfill pre-orders on their website. So it's putting them under. It's making a lot of them change how they do their business.
Yeah, so essentially what's happening with that is smaller retailers put on their websites for their pre-orders saying due to arrive in October. The big stores, your GameStop, Walmart, Target, wherever, will get the stock in like August or September.
Yeah.
October finally rolls around. The small stores don't have them in stock, so people are emailing, hey, been seeing this in GameStop. When are you getting your stock? When's my pre-order going to get fulfilled? Oh, it's due in October. Okay, I'll wait. They never get their stock until like November or December, and that makes them look like liars, even though Funko didn't ship them what they were supposed to by the advertised date.
They're focused on the bigger retailers more, Funko, instead of the smaller retailers.
And it's turning the customers against the smaller stores. That shouldn't happen. The smaller stores, in my opinion, are what made Funko popular.
Yes, but...
Or what helped to make Funko popular.
Yes, but they're outgrowing, I think, the smaller businesses. They've become so big that now they can really only focus on the larger retailers, I think. I don't know if it's smart for them to focus on smaller retailers. Like, I want them to. I'm not saying that I don't want them to, but I'm saying in the grand scheme, for them being public now, they want to make all this money. Their way of making money is by working with larger retailers. There's going to be more foot traffic in those larger retailers than the smaller ones.
But what's the problem with the larger retailers? See what we were just talking about. Your Funko displays growing smaller and smaller and smaller.
Well, Funko needs to work on how they're going to market and work with the larger retailers. They haven't figured this out. It's still a big, gigantic mess. They need to cut back on how much they're producing, because obviously that's a huge issue. I think retailers sort of got turned off by them. And
I think so too.
You know, we can't fill our entire store with your Funko product if they're not going to sell.
Yeah, we can't make money off your product if we're marking them down lower than what we purchased them for.
Right, and we just talked about in a video that Funko is selling a lot of stuff on their website. They're selling like Target exclusives, Walmart exclusives, and I don't think this is like objects that started at Funko or somewhere and then went to Walmart, didn't sell, and then came back to Funko.
No, Funko's holding some for
They're holding all this stuff, and it's because these larger retailers maybe won't take it. So Funko is actually making direct-to-consumer sales right now with all of the retailer stickers. We've been getting a lot of questions about retailer stickers being on Funko Pops on Funko Shop. And
Funko announced they were doing that.
Funko's going to make a lot more money doing this.
They are.
They're going to make a lot more money making Funko Shop exclusives. Direct-to-consumer is the most amount of money they could possibly make.
But how is a Target exclusive if it's being sold on Funko's website?
Well, that's a complete problem in my opinion. That's a discrepancy, and that's something that Funko needs to fix so we don't see this happening more often on the website, because realistically in the end it's to get your consumer into these stores. You want to get them accustomed to going to Target for Target exclusive Funko Pops. You want to get them accustomed to going to Walmart for Walmart exclusive Funko Pops. And we were accustomed to doing all of this. Like years ago, you and I would go out to all these different stores and pick up all these exclusives. We knew what to do. But now, after the pandemic's happened, we have all these new collectors. Things are just askew. Now people focus more on buying online.
That in itself is a problem too, because when you drive people to these stores, say someone might not have a Target close by, that's not like their normal spot to shop, but if there's a Target exclusive pop, you might want to make the 30 or so minute drive if you know that there is a Target exclusive there. So not only are you driving people to go and buy your Funko Pops there, if I'm driving 30 minutes, you better believe I'm looking at the rest of the store, seeing what else I can buy while I'm already out there.
Of course.
So, I mean, that's a bit deeper into this. I don't really think that that's a main focus point, but it's good to get people out into the stores that you're selling to, because it shows them not only are they buying Funko products, but they're also buying their milk there or their medicine.
Exactly. You're bringing people to the store, and it's showing the retailer like, hey, right, the Funko Pop is bringing the boys to the yard. And then there was a new thing that just recently happened where Funko changed their website. This is a huge issue that's going on right now. Their website changed, and I think the connectivity from their website and how that's designed into the app in some capacity, like there's some sort of connectivity that's broken, because my app right now is not working. If I look at my collection, I can't actually see my collection right now.
Yeah, at first it started like with people not being able to access it. Then when you got onto it, you would see like less items in your collection, but you still had your collection. Now you can't even see what you have.
Yeah.
Which in my opinion is a big problem, because if I go somewhere, we have so many damn pops, I don't know what we own and what we don't. So if I go somewhere and see something cool, I may or may not know if we already have it, because we have so much stuff.
Well, it used to be worse before. I mean, so many new things are out today that we pretty much know what we have.
Yeah.
But yeah, before, I would buy stuff double all the time.
Oh,
completely by accident. I don't go out anymore. I order everything online. I know what I'm getting. I know what I have. So the dynamic of how I collect has changed significantly since the pandemic.
Same.
And I think the pandemic has affected things in both a negative and positive way. Negatively, because we no longer go out to the store. We don't buy like we used to, which is why everything is shrinking in all these different stores. We went to Hot Topic the other day. The size of the wall is so much smaller than it used to be.
They used to have an entire wall dedicated to Pops. Now it's like this little 3-foot section that's pretty tall.
So that's a negative thing. But the positive thing is we can do a lot more online than we used to. And I'm personally okay with that because I don't go out shopping that often. But it would be nice if every once in a while Target or Walmart or these, whatever retailer does drag us back into the store because we do want to get something. There's a huge issue there. I think that needs to be fixed. I don't know what they're focusing on. I'm not entirely sure what they're doing. I know that they're making a lot of changes, and maybe these are all going to be great changes. However, we saw with the Goldie Roger the other day, I think that bots absolutely overwhelmed the website.
I think so
So there's an issue there. The app is broken. Layoffs are still happening. The Buckeye thing is probably still getting straightened out as far as I know.
Yeah. So
Oh my God, don't even get me started on dropping NFT, which that'll be a separate video from this. Dropping NFTs. There are so many problems. And there's one really big significant one that somebody posted about the other day, actually several people, and we're going to highlight this. I really think that as fans, we all need to reach out and we all need to do something. We can make videos like this all day. And we can sit around and complain. And you and I are doing this so Funko or whomever is watching this can see what we're doing and what we're saying in our thoughts. But we need more public outcry. We need people emailing Drop. We need people emailing Funko and saying that what is happening, maybe it's not happening to me, but what I am seeing that's happening in the community is wrong. It needs to change. And somebody probably will watch this video and say, well, stop buying Funko NFTs and things will change. That's 100% true.
But you're
not going to stop everybody.
If you stop collecting, there's going to be someone, maybe even 10 someones to take your place. So
absolutely.
I don't really see that affect, one person not purchasing affecting Funko so much. But
hey, maybe that's somebody trying to get us to stop buying so they have a better chance at getting stuff, see?
Maybe.
They're trying to pull one over on us, Heather.
Let's reel ourselves back. So we're going to do a separate video on that. But another issue is that they laid off a bunch of people.
Yeah, but that's a business-related thing. I hate hearing about layoffs. I hate hearing about it, but sometimes when it comes to a business, you have to do these things. But you don't have a choice.
In my opinion, they laid off some brilliant people who have been there forever, who know how things work, who are very, very talented, and we have seen that.
Well, you're saying this, but you don't know anything.
No, I don't. They know how stuff works. We know that. They know how to create cool things. We know that based off of the products we've seen created. I do not feel like it was a good business move from the outside looking in to lay off such talented people who know the inner workings of things. If I, as a nobody, am hired by Funko tomorrow and say I'm the best artist in the world, I am so good at designing things, I don't know all of the lingo, I don't know every specific detail that Funko needs from an artist, where these people have experience. They know the sizing that they're supposed to be and the colors they're supposed to use and the things that you should stay away from when designing these figures. You know what I mean? You don't know all of the technical stuff. So then they're spending more money training people to learn the things that those people already know.
Well, you're wrong, because Funko is moving away from having... I think they don't want an inside art team at Everett or wherever here in the States. I think they're sending all of that overseas. So now you're going to have people overseas. They're paying them a lot less. I don't think they're looking at it that way at all.
I get it. But what's the quality going to look like? And are people going to want to continue to pay these prices that continuously going up for what could possibly be a lower quality without these high quality artists?
You're absolutely right about that. I mean, I'm in agreement. However, we haven't seen anything yet. So we don't know entirely what it'll be when all of this is taking place overseas. But I'm with you. I mean, that is a concern for sure. If you're getting Funko Pops that don't have the type of love behind them, because that is one thing about these Funko Pops, is that we do have people here that have love for these fandoms, and you can see their love sort of pouring through the character.
Yes, and the prime example that we always use are the Ghost Funko Pops designed by Reese O'Brien. He put so much love into those figures. They look so good. All of the details he put in, he really captured the essence of Papa Emeritus, who
From
is
Ghost,
the lead singer of Ghost. Will we get that if there is another Ghost Pop? They might go off of a picture, but is it going to have as much love in it? Probably not.
It'll be interesting to see what we do get, or if we actually get anything at all. From what we hear, Funko is highly focused on all of their big licenses.
One Piece,
Marvel, anime,
DC,
Disney, Star Wars. That's what they're going to be focused on. The smaller art, fun things that they did before, like Boo Hollow we always talk about, they're not going to focus on this stuff anymore. And that's really sad, because that's what makes a lot of what Funko does fun. There's such a broad landscape of all the different things that they do. You can go into a store and in the same visit buy a Mando and then also a little zombie apple. So you can buy both of these things at the same time, and they're both Funko products. They're far different from each other, and you get a character that you know and love from a TV show, and you also get something from the mind of a creator at Funko.
That's really cool.
That's really cool, and I like that. I like that aspect of it, but I think we're driving away from all of that.
I think
so. The rest of this year will be very interesting to sort of see what direction they are going to take this in. Are they going to open the door to the smaller artsy sort of stuff anymore? Is that completely gone? I feel like that lovely family aspect, we're all together in this sort of feeling,
Funko
is
family.
Gone. It's gone. It's not there anymore.
Especially when they got rid of the social media team, because that brings some sort of personability to Funko, because you're seeing faces that you know and love showing you these Funko products and trying to make things fun, where yes, we've seen a little bit of that, but it isn't at the level it used to be.
Oh my God.
And that's another huge problem. It's just really bizarre, the direction that they're going in. And I can tell you the direction they're going in. They want to be a toy company. They want to be well known like your Hasbros or Mattels and things like that. And there's nothing wrong with that. However, I feel like in doing what they're doing, we've been seeing a lot less piece counts, like low piece counts, except with the NFTs. Our video the other day was talking about how the whole Loungefly thing.
Yeah.
We have stickers on some pops that say that things are limited to 3,000, but then we're seeing unlimited stickers on the same pop in stores shared. It's just, it's very bizarre.
The quality control is screwed up.
Yeah, I think it's the quality control, but also, again, we're not really seeing as many lower piece counts as we have in years past. It feels like as they've grown and as they saw those 2020 numbers where they were selling a lot of stuff, they're producing a lot more. And that's where I feel like they're alienating collectors. And I've said this quite a few times. We are no longer collecting these collectible toys. We are buying toys. Yep. That's how it feels.
Absolutely.
We're buying a piece to sit on our shelves.
You're buying mass-produced product.
Yes, and it doesn't feel like we're collecting it per se. It feels like...
No, it used to be you went to the store and you found something new, maybe something you didn't even know existed from Funko, and you pick it up off the shelf and you're like, oh my God, this is amazing. It's Edward Scissorhands. It's one Edward Scissorhands sitting on that shelf, and it's really special to you. You love the movie, everything else. You leave the store, you go home, and you find out that it's kind of hard to come by the Edward Scissorhand Funko Pop, maybe. That was what was fun about it. You went to the store and you didn't know what you were getting yourself into. It used to be a lot more of a surprise.
It did, and not only that, but again, we're seeing too much of the bigger licenses, too much Grogu, too much Batman, too much Spider-Man even. And I feel like that's fine because that's going to draw people in, but I feel like they still need to do those lower licenses. Like, I was shocked as hell during Funko Fair when we saw What We Do in the Shadows pops, because that seems to be a lesser known sort of niche license, but they got it and they're doing it, and that's amazing to me. I feel like there's so much of the bigger licenses that they're going to slowly start to take over, and we're going to see less and less of What We Do in the Shadows. You know what I mean? And other lesser known stuff. It used to be so exciting to see these licenses that we've never seen before, and it's very rare that we get a new, really cool license.
Yeah, so they're discontinuing some of the stuff that we really like, unfortunately. They've done a lot of layoffs. The warehouse has been really screwed up. The website is now changed. The app doesn't work. Basically, what I'm telling you is that all of the problems we are noticing coming out of Funko are literally stacking up, and we're not seeing any fixes or anything getting better. The most recent thing being the Goldie Roger going up on the website and selling out because of bots.
My hope with the Funko app and the Funko website, things do get better.
Well, some of the orders have been canceled.
I did hear about that.
Yeah, so there have been orders that have been canceled, but basically everything's horrible at Funko, and we're not being negative. We're just being real about this. These are all things that we're seeing, and we have yet to see a real fix.
Yeah, and
it's sort of a mess right now.
I feel like with something that is this big of a mess, I feel like it's either going to take time or they'll just grow into this big empire that they want to grow into, and it'll be less collector, more toy. And
they're not selling anything. Yeah. They can be big toy company or try to be big toy company all they want, but if they don't have a fan base and people who are going to buy into it, they've got nothing. Exactly. And so they can't see this. They are so blinded by trying to please the powers that be. The shareholders, they need to please them. They also, because they're public, that's the other thing, their stock is down. Like, their stock was at like $11.30. Now it's down to like $7.50 or something, $8. I mean, even their stock fell. And that's because people are they're no longer confident in what they're doing. That's the bottom line here, and I want to see Funko turn their thing around. But Heather and I have some ideas of how Funko can be better and how they can improve, and we're going to tell you that in another video. So for now, to be continued! In every video, we like to shout out to some of our patrons from Patreon. In this video, we'd like to shout out to Lindsay, George Gifford, Laura Ampalala, Sergio Lopez, David Brewer, Keith Clow, Big Papa Tolan, Cloud Splendid, Charles Smith, and Yazir I. Castillo. Thank you guys so much for your continued support. We appreciate all of our patrons. You guys rock.